Dave Brailsford, knighted for services to cycling enjoyment. Now, here's today's route map, a short and spiky 145 kilometres, setting out from Ajaccio and hitting its first summit 12 kilometres later. The day's intermediate sprint is after 28 kilometres on the one real run of flat, then it's climbing or descending the rest of the way. Two third category cols lead into a long, lumpy and twisty section that straightens out towards the toughest ascent of the day, the second category Col de Marcelino. Only 443 metres high, but pretty steep, and like yesterday's final climb, just 12 kilometres from the finish, which today is in Calvi.
Looking at the leader on the descent as he's gone over the top, Pierre Rolland. He's happy with his day. He's doubled his lead in the King of the Mountains to 10 points. He's now wants the stage win. What a conclusion this would be to 3 days on the island of Corsica. A Frenchman winning and a Frenchman leading in the King of the Mountains.
Well, he's got 10 seconds advantage over a small group of chasers, 15 seconds over Sylvain Chavanel, who's moving away from the yellow jersey group this afternoon. And Pierre Rolland is taking all kinds of risks around every one of these corners, hoping it will stretch out his advantage by a second here and a second there.
Now, the big news is, if you look into this peloton, that the lime green jersey of Peter Sagan is in there. If they bring this race back together, he may get it right this time and take the stage, and with it, but perhaps the Maillot Jaune. But remember, he's got to get a 1 second gap over the current leader of the Tour. And Bacalance is still in there. 15 seconds is the spread.
Well, Sylvain Chavanel has caught the two guys who were chasing Pierre Rolland, and he's gone straight by them on his own currently. He's trying to make the junction with the Pierre Rolland. Look at that. Here is Sylvain Chavanel. Wow. He is storming across this gap.
He tried to celebrate on his birthday yesterday. He failed 400 metres from the line, and now he's going again. There's nothing like being a day late with the present, is there?
Look at this. This is the time trial champion of France. He's a former road racing champion of France, but he is a fighter. He's a real bike rider, Sylvain Chavanel, and he wants to get himself a stage victory in the Tour de France. A couple of years ago, he had the yellow jersey on 2 occasions, and he lost it, and he got it back, and he won 2 stage victories as well. And this afternoon, he's looking to try and get himself that victory, and the day after his 34th birthday.
Well, he's got himself into his rhythm. 5 times the champion of his country in the time trial. That in itself is a record. Now he's trying to get in amongst it and run them down to the finish. There's still nearly 8 kilometres to go, 5 miles. The Tour de France now is in angry mood. Take a look at the Orica Green Edge. They played the card with Simon Clark. It almost worked. Now they're trying to drag Daryl Impey in for the sprint victory.
Got to take your hat off, though, to Sylvain Chavanel. He was in a winning move yesterday and just missed out. Today he's looking to create a winning move again. But I think with the number of sprinters who are in that group behind, the Impeys from South Africa, the Peter Sagans as well, there should be some organisation. They won't want to make the mistake they made yesterday and allow the breakaway to survive.
9 seconds, it's still in there, Paul. It is really touch and go at just over 5 kilometres, isn't it?
Well, 5 kilometres, 3 miles, 7 minutes of effort is all these riders require. And it's holding at the 10-second margin. I would have said yesterday that the breakaway would have got caught on the run-in towards a finish. I'd have been wrong. Today, I still think this breakaway will not survive, but it depends on the way the guys in the main field react. If they leave it up to Team Radio Shack, well, they may well miss out. They need to combine their efforts because these men are really flying at the 5-kilometre banner.
Well, we're just running on the shoulder of the airfield where they'll all be flying away from in about 2 hours' time and saying goodbye to Corsica as they go under the 5-kilometre banner now. Radio Shack have also got themselves back up front as the planes get ready to take the Tour de France away. The Tour de France is ending in style here. They will eventually turn right, and it's only a 480-metre sprint from the last turn to the finishing line. And Orica Green Edge are determined to get a result today. They're now hoping they can take their sprinter like Daryl Impey to the line.
Well, the impetus gone out of that 4-man leading group now. They're starting to find there are 1 or 2 passengers. It's inside of 5 seconds 4 kilometres to go will be the next banner they will see across the road. That's 2.5 miles as Pierre Rolland tries to keep the pressure on. Relayed there by the man in the pale blue jersey.
Whoop.
There's a move coming by Nordhaug.
This is Lars Petter Nordhaug, has launched an absolute flyer here, but straight on his back wheel. Sylvain Chavanel says, I might be 34 years of age and a day, but I can still keep up with the attacks. Straight on his back wheel. 4 kilometres to go.
It's not much, though. Look at that advantage. It's hardly the tick of a second as they move forward there. The main field are hovering. Chavanel knows he's in a situation where he could possibly survive this afternoon, but when you look over your shoulder like that, you know it's over.
There were the death throes, but it seems by Nordhaug there. Shakes his head, looks at Chavanel. They fan out. The sprinters of the bunch are now going to start licking their lips here. And in control for the moment at the front is Orica Greenedge, but the rush will come from the other teams. The last man to be swept up is going to be the King of the Mountains tonight, a Frenchman who will say goodbye to Corsica in the polka dot jersey.
Well, let's not forget Peter Sagan, the man who led the bunch home yesterday in second position, is in this group. He's hiding in the middle there, waiting for the moment to come out. It's nice to see Andy Schleck riding there in fourth position. He's quite happily riding better and better in the Tour de France. But I think this group now will stick together. It's starting to get themselves organised at 3 kilometres to go. I don't foresee any further attacks. We will start to get the organisation, I expect, coming for Peter Sagan.
I think this is the flattest part of the island now. There's no more hills. They'll race along this flat road. There will be a rather tricky final right turn, about 450, 500 metres from the line. The sprinters will want to be in the first 4 to 5 places around that last ken. On the right, the white jersey of Michael Shaw, the champion of Switzerland for Cadel Evans, moving in.
Bear in mind, Phil, the yellow jersey, Jan Bakelants, is in this group and he has a 1 second advantage over everybody else. If he finishes in the same time as the main field, he will remain the overall leader at the end of today.
Well, the riders now fighting for position here. Michael Kwiatkowski is moving in that white jersey as the best young rider. He's about 4 riders back on the right. This is another Argos rider. This might be somebody, well, it's not Tom Veers. It could be Tom Lisa who's launched an attack here for Argos.
Well, the organisation now coming from TBMC on the front. We're now at 2 kilometres, 1.2 miles to be exact to go to the finish. As Argos Shimano looks under his elbow there to see where is the main field. Well, they're hovering, waiting again for the moment to pounce. But this is how the victory was taken yesterday.
Around the tight right-hander here, but this isn't the one I was referring to. There's another one still to come.
Sagan up into 4th or 5th position in the lime green jersey, the champion of Slovakia. He's got a teammate in front of him starting to lead him out. They do not want to make the same mistake they did yesterday.
The only man I can think about as big as this is Johannes Freilinger here, but they're saying it's Tom Dumoulin, and he's in his first Tour de France, this rider. He's lost 12 minutes, so he won't be racing for yellow, but he would be racing for an incredible stage win, and the second in 3 days for the team Argos Shimano. And he's got himself a gap as well. But there's still this final right-hand turn to come in about 500 metres time. 1 kilometre to go.
1 kilometre to go. This could be the Tour de France of surprises that we've been expecting over the last couple of seasons. But look at the main field now. They're starting to pick up their impetus. There's one more bend to make. They're up into second position. That is Peter Sagan. Daryl Impey, the South African, up onto the wheel of the Slovakian champion. They're all battling for that wheel now.
Well, he's up there, Sagan, but he's got Kwiatkowski on his back wheel in that white jersey. And now it's all over. Now Sagan has never had a better chance all those 3 days. This is the right-hander. There's just 500 metres to go. They've got round it safely. They'll line up for the finish now. And Peter Sagan is in a perfect position.
Peter Sagan there sitting locked in the wheel of his teammate. He's just waiting for the moment when it would open up. But Orica Greenedge are taking over control now to try and set it up for Daryl Impey.
Well, I think they're setting up for Simon Gerrans, who's tucked in there at the moment as they open up for the line now. And Sagan is lining up to come as well. Sagan going to the centre of our picture here as Peter Sagan is now going to win his first stage of the Tour de France as he hits the line. And that is how you say goodbye to Corsica.
Well, that was very, very close indeed, I would have to say, Phil. They are saying that it's gone to Simon Gerrans over the race radio, but I think we'll have to wait until we see a photo finish on that one.
Well, that was a terrific finish by Gerrans, a perfect lead out for him. Maybe the photo will tell him, and surely Simon Gerrans has got it on the photo. He has come up to the line on the inside, and after a terrific day, Orica Greenedge on the photograph has won with Simon Gerrans.
Simon Gerrans, the bunch sprinter. Not many people saw that coming.
Well, I guess I surprised quite a few people, including myself, just a little bit today. I knew there weren't many sprinters left, but Peter Sagan, he's a guy that can often climb with the best climbers and sprint with the best sprinters. So I'm really thrilled to be able to beat such a class rider in a sprint finish like today. Peter
Sagan, head-to-head with him in a sprint, and he's angry and frustrated because he hasn't got his win yet. That's a big ask and a big scalp, isn't it?
Oh, it certainly is. Yeah, I think I probably caught him by surprise a little bit, as I did quite a few guys today. So, yeah, I'm wrapped for Orica Greenedge to get a stage win here at the Tour.
Yes, and that stage win means that Peter Sagan was second for the second day running. Jose Joaquin Rojas was third, Michał Kwiatkowski fourth, the world champion Philippe Gilbert fifth. The yellow jersey Jan Bakelants finished comfortably in the main field after all the work done by his team, as did the main contenders for overall victory. 9 minutes 15 seconds later came the group containing the sprinters André Greipel, Marcel Kittel and Mark Cavendish, as well as a struggling Geraint Thomas.
Gee, how are you?
Oh, been better. Yeah, I had MRI yesterday, and yeah, there's a little fracture or whatever in my hip, and it explains a lot because yesterday was just probably one of the worst days I've had on the bikes. But you know, I've done so much to you know, lose weight and get fit for this, and I'm not just going to give up straight away. And you know, the experts said that it's not going to get any worse. So you know, I'm going to give it a few days and see if the pain sort of comes down, and then we'll see.
You're a hard man. Someone suggested they're going to stop saying man up and start saying G up. But you're going to get through this, you hope, G.
Well, I'm definitely going to give it a good go. My mum doesn't want me to. But yeah, like I said, you know, it's the Tour. It's not your average race, and I'm definitely going to keep fighting. And it felt a lot better today than yesterday. And it felt a lot better at the end than it did at the start. So I can feel it slowly getting better, but, you know, I've got a crack on my bone, I guess, so it's always going to hurt a bit, isn't it?
Geraint Thomas, master of understatement. So a first Tour de France stage win for Orica Greenedge, their team bus getting its nose over the finish line on stage one notwithstanding, and the second of Simon Gerrans' Tour career. 2 second places in 2 days may be disappointing for Peter Sagan, but he's taken the lead in the green jersey competition from Marcel Kittel and already has a lead of 49 points over Mark Cavendish. Pierre Rolland's late surge up the Col de Marcelino means he keeps the Mountains jersey, with Simon Clarke and Blel Kadri tied on 5 points behind him. So Jan Bakelants still holds on to his 1 second lead over the field, and the field was whittled down and shuffled slightly today. Only 71 riders breathing down his neck now, starting with Julien Simon. Simon Gerrans is up to third, Michał Kwiatkowski in the Best Young Riders jersey is fourth, Edvald Boasson-Hagen fifth, Darrell Impey sixth, David Miller down to seventh, and Sergei Lagutin eighth. Cadel Evans leads the favourites, he's ninth, but from Froome through Contador they're all on the same time, which means there's every chance of Garmin claiming the yellow jersey for David Miller in the team time trial tomorrow.
We have to try and kind of take out our head why we're doing it. We're just trying to do everything right, do everything we've trained towards, and if we do that, then hopefully we stand a good chance of winning it. But it's the Tour de France. Every team here is excellent, so it's far from a given, and I think we'll, don't know, fingers crossed, huh?
For the moment though, and for the second day running, the yellow jersey belongs to Jan Bakelants, and his Radio Shack team will be riding hard to defend it tomorrow.